People don't realize this, but in 1960, CBN was the first Christian television network. And when we look at what God has done, and now with that ministry, what 156, 159 countries, 70 languages, including Chinese and Arabic, two languages that desperately need to hear the grace of the living God. And what an amazing ministry. When you look back upon that, it's got to be incredibly humbling. But all of it was because you walked with the Lord and in his obedience.
Is real. People think God is something in a storybook, and it's kind of like he's an old man in a rocking chair upstairs. But he is a powerful, living person, and he will direct us. He will bless us. He led me to buy a television station. I had $70, and I even own a TV set. And I didn't know anything about television. And God said, I want you to buy a television station that was for sale, an old UHF station. And this book is a story of how it started out. And now CBN is, as you said, we broadcast in almost 60 different languages, and we're all around the world. And we see hundreds of millions of people respond to the gospel. And it is just a thrill to see, because daily, every day I see God's power. It's not just something that happened every so often. It's daily. And so my book is a chronicle of these years and years and years. And there's so many miracles. It's not just one. It's just day after day after day we see wonderful things happen.
Were there had to have been times early on that you were under attack, that it was difficult walking that day in the presence of God, and yet I know the abundant blessings that God has given you. Tell us how you got through those days.
Well, along the way, when Reagan, I was really admired Reagan, and when he passed off the scene, I somehow felt that maybe I believed so strongly in what he did that maybe I would be the next in line. And so as I prayed, and many things happened, I won't go into all the details. They're in the book about how God gave me examples that I should run for president. And I mean, I'm a Baptist minister, and I had law training and all that stuff, but I'd never been in politics in my life. My father had been in the Senate and for many years, but I had never run. And yet I decided to run for president. And when I got in there, they beat me up so badly. I mean, it was just awful. The things the press does to you, they don't want anybody coming into their province and taking that prize away from them. And you go for the big one, and they go after you like hornets. And so I was beat up so badly. And when I finished the campaign, I was third in the Republican contest, and I beat up some pretty prominent guys along the way. But I was just exhausted, and I had in this anger in my heart. I really, I'd been a Golden Gloves boxer when I was a kid. And I wanted to take the editor of the Washington Post, put him in the ring, and knock his eyelids out. I mean, it was that kind of feeling, and that very Christian type of attitude. And so I found that things in my life, I couldn't get anything done. I mean, because I had this resentment. And along the way, I read a book by a lady named Basilea Schlenk. She was the Evangelical Sisters of Mary over in Germany. And it said that the damage to your personal life is more intense than anything you can dream. And he said, you have to forgive. And so I said, God, I please ask you, take that away from me. I forgive these people for what they've done. I'm sorry I felt this way. And when I did, things began to open up, and, it took off in another whole direction of blessing in my life. But as long as I had that resentment, Jesus said, if you have aught against any, you're not going to get any miracles. And I had aught against these people so badly. I mean, they had hurt me so badly. And when I forgave them, all of a sudden the flow of God's Spirit began to move in my life. And again, that's in the book, some of the things that happened after that.
There are amazing stories like that, the presence of God in the life of a man that was walking faithfully with the Lord in 60 years of ministry. I have walked with the living God. PatRobertsonBooks.com. Hey, remember to click the subscribe button right here on the screen. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new content is added. And more importantly than anything, you don't want to miss all 3 live hours of Financial Issues every day from 9 to noon. And you can watch it on FISM.TV. That's FISM.TV.